So whenever you're ready, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sorio. I'm working at 811X, the Academy for Career and Living Skill. Right now, I have the X11. They're in the grade 9, and they're learning algebra. Today, we work on systems of equation.
Good. All right. So first question for you is, how does this lesson connect to and build on students' prior skills and knowledge? What was taught before the lesson and what will come after it?
Okay, so this lesson, as I said, we're working on systems of equations. So they building on their knowledge about working on different linear equations and solving it. They work on linear equations, solving just the value of y. They learned how to graph. So today, what we're trying to work on is them being able to solve for the variables x and y given the two equations by graphing. So the next step, once they're fine with this, once they attain this goal, being able to solve it, we will work on the next way of solving it, which is by elimination. And then after that, the other way of solving it again by substitution.
Okay, good. So second question is, talk about the standards or cluster targeted in the lesson. What did you do to make the lesson reflect the full intent of that standard or cluster?
Sorry,
That's
what was
okay.
it? Let me just get. What was the question?
So the question is, talk about the standards or cluster targeted in the lesson. What did you do to make the lesson reflect the full intent of that standard or cluster?
Okay. So the standard we work on today is about solve system of two linear equation in two variables. So we are trying to work on the relationship of the equations, and what I want them to learn is to be able to solve the linear equations using graphing method. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What else is in that? Okay, hold on. Talk about the standard targeted in this lesson. What did you do to make this lesson reflect the full intent of that standard? Okay. All right, let me go trace it back.
Okay.
Okay. The standard we're working today is about solving linear equation with equations in two variables. So the way I want to break down the lesson is for them first to work on one linear equation, prepare them in that linear equation, and then prepare them also how to graph when we did it before, but they have to work on the graphing as well, because the solution of this in this standard is by graphing. So we're working first on that first method of solving the linear equation in two variables. So I taught them step by step. I gave them the scaffolded steps in solving it, working through the equation, working through the function table, working through the graph, and then finding that point of intersection. And the same way, like the materials are also differentiated for the students, and the way we guided them is depending on their needs.
Okay. Which of the core action indicators do you think this lesson best exemplified?
Okay. That grant, do you have the paper that we have?
I think you can talk in general just about like instructional shifts about the Common Core.
Okay, all right. Because I forgot.
Yeah, I don't have them memorized. Don't.
Yeah, I have that in my paper too. Okay, all right. Yes, instructional sheet. We work on, this lesson really is I have like high expectation of my students. So I know that they're capable of working with this kind of problems, this kind of solving, this kind of mathematics manipulation, because I've had them before. What the rigor we try to, because of the Common Core now, we try to put in so much rigor to every class that we have. So with this population that we have right now, we try to give them the possible of lifting their way of learning through the different, using the Common Core standard, then applying what is the different instructional methods. So basically, we try to work with them by showing them what to do. We have the goal like I do, hold on. You can cut it and then put it together.
Right. Exactly.
So, okay, our main goal really while teaching here is the thought of I do, we do, and you do. So I'll show them, I model for them, and then we go on for the guided practice. That's the time that they do together the works. They try to discuss one another, we help them out. And then after that practice segment, then they can try to do it themselves. And whatever support we can do, then we try to give them. So as much as possible, there will be scaffolding, there will be breaking down of some lessons, like there will be simplification for some of them, but still we try to hit that rigor that is expected in every instruction. Because they deserve to learn whatever the other general ed are also learning right now. Thank you.
Discuss how this lesson illustrates the shifts required by the CCSS.
Okay. Okay, one of the shifts that I remember that we are expected to work on with them is fluency. And so what I have provided, or what I try to plan for this lesson, is that the student will gain that fluency in working with these two equations, these two linear equations. If you will notice the works that's done, whatever I did on the board is the same steps that I try to give them on their paperwork, so that there will be no variation, but then they will get the step-by-step procedure in working through the two equations, in solving them. So the mastery of the basic skills will be they will also work on it, but still the sequence of how they're gonna work on that particular solution is still the same throughout, whatever is the given. They have something to follow. So there's difference in terms of what is provided, like for example, for another set or group of students, like I group them group B and group C. For group C, there will be a differentiated format, in the sense that some of the tools are already there on the given paper, on the given guided practice, so that it becomes more easier for them to flow in the other basic mathematical skills that they needed to work on, because we want to focus also on the aim, which is how to find the point of intersection, which will be the solution for the two linear equation. So focus and fluency, then rigor.
How did the students handle this lesson? Did they understand the mathematics of the lesson?
Okay, good question. How did they understand? I have seen after the lesson, we had difficulties. I have seen, like, at the start, even the student that I am expecting to get it first had difficulty, but it's not on the aim for today. It's not in finding the intersection, it's not finding the coordinates. It is in the manipulation of the algebraic equation or in the linear equation. So now I've seen that, like, now I know wherein I can support them, because most of them really have the difficulty of working on with the linear equation, manipulating the linear equation, substituting the values of x to get the y. And basically, I would say because we worked on algebra last year and they needed more review before we shifted to this kind of lesson again. So maybe next step will be to go back again and review to them how to manipulate that algebraic equation in order to give them more fluency in getting the values in order to go and proceed with this aim that we have right now.
Explain how you differentiated in the lesson. Did all students have the opportunity to work on grade level content?
Yes, I would say yes, and I think that is why when I was working with this lesson plan and I chose the standard, I really opted that it's a grade 9 lesson, and I believe that they have prior knowledge already to work on equations. So with my high expectation of them, that's why we shifted, we move on to the next level, which is solving two equations. And differentiation. The way I differentiated my lesson is with the samples that I gave them first. Then I gave out two samples, which is one which is easily to be understood by the C group. And then I also tried to give an equation that is also for the B group in the sample during explanation. And in the same way, in the guided practice that I gave to them, I gave the same way wherein C group would have already in the slope-intercept form, and the B group is still the one that they still need to manipulate in order to have it in a slope-intercept form. Then also another differentiation I included in the guided practice is the function table that they have. The x values are provided already, and they have already the chart to put in the coordinates in order to identify the different points to plot. Also, for another differentiation, the x and y values were already, the graph is already prepared for them. They just have to plot the points.
Let's talk about core action 3. So which behaviors from core action 3 did the students best exemplify?
Pardon the interruption. Lynette, please call 2272. Lynette,
Can you
2272.
just take a quick whatever? But hold on. Which papers from Common Core Action? Core Action treated the students best exemplify. Oh no, best exemplify this lesson. Yeah, please let's move on to the next one.
Okay, we'll make it easy. Reflecting on the lesson, what worked particularly well and what might you do differently? It's fine. Because
Okay.
you're
Okay, reflecting on the lesson, what would particularly well and what might you do differently? Okay. Okay, what worked particularly well I have seen is when we're doing the we do activity, like when I'm teaching in front and then I'm calling out one at a time, they are responding to it simultaneously. Each group is supporting one of each, they're all supporting one another. So that one is the one that I see working well. Then the next one, what might I do differently? I know I have to adjust on a few things, um, like during the practice, I will need to regroup them again because I have seen who has difficulties with the lesson, with the equation, and so I will have a few adjustments on the activity as well to make it more simpler. So there will be more scaffolding to be adjusted in order for them to adapt the whole lesson and learn the aim that I have for them. So it may take a while, but I have to really break it down.
we can leave it at that.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.